friends, and welcome back to Lemon Tree Corner. This week in the studio we are going to continue on making our Maya Wristlets and our piggy pouches and all the craft fair goodies that we're working on, and some other tidbits for you from my week. We just had college day at the college, which is a big kind of boost. It's a big hype day that we have for all the faculty and staff before we open for the semester. So I'll share some of that with you. I didn't take a lot of footage this year just because I was behind the techs with the bald guy in my shot the whole time. So I took what I could, and yeah, I don't know what we're getting up to other than that this week, but I'll take you along with me. So let's take a look at where we're at with the 12 Maya Wristlets. So we have completed these 3 from last week, and one that's almost all the way done. And then we have 8 more to make. Oh, so here's our big pile that we still have to make. Hopefully this will go faster because all the interfacing is done. I just have to sew them together. I also picked up some ribbon at Joann's to use with our sachets. Still have to find that big box of micro beads, but we will find that and get that started. And then, like I told you last week, I bought more yarn. I know. I'm done. I swear I'm done for the year. Can't buy any more yarn. So if you remember, I was trying out this Segway shawl, and I really wanted this yarn, this specific yarn that she uses. It's a 5-pack. It kind of goes in a gradient in lavender. But as I was looking at the yarn online, I didn't quite like, the color was like a very subtle color change, and it was like very light. So I wanted to try some other yarn of hers. So I was looking on their website because I haven't used their yarn yet, and I found another set of 6 colors. Let me take these out here. And I only need 5, so I took one out of here. But it kind of goes from, if I can hold these up for you, it kind of goes from this tan color into a beautiful mottled pink and lavender, and then a little darker lavender. You can see there with a little bit of gray. And then we have this one, which is kind of the bridge. It's got the lavender and the lighter color with some of the green, if you can see the green in that one, which bridges us over to this green, which is beautiful. So I just kind of liked the drama of this better than the lavender set. So I got these. They're super soft. Oh, I don't want to touch my cheek because I have makeup on, but they're super soft. So really looking forward to making this shawl with these yarns. And like I said, this is probably gonna usurp the other projects I'm working on. I'm determined to finish the rainbow scarf and the other scarf before I start this. But for our vacation, it's a pretty long road trip. We've got a 4-hour drive up to Cayucos, and then with his gig on top of that, because of course he got a call for a gig the same week as our vacation. So we're just going to add on to the trip and keep driving up north to Napa, and that's another 4 hours. And then on the way home, it's like an 8-hour drive home. So I think I'm going to get through those 2 scarves, or the scarf and the shawl, and probably start this one on the way back down. So I got plenty of time for that. And yeah, the rainbow scarf isn't turning out the way I want it to. I'm kind of committed to just keep going because I did 10 row chunks, and I don't know if I have enough yarn left. So I'm starting on the repeat now. So I'm starting on the second half of my skein, my mini skein. We'll see how many rows I get. I feel like it's still too chunky, like the color blocks are too chunky. Like I'm not changing fast enough. And then I don't like the way that I decided to split up the rainbow into 2 different rainbows. So I might take that whole thing out and do it over again and just have it just be in rainbow order. But yeah, it's looking very blocky, like a Harry Potter scarf right now, instead of a nice flowy rainbow. So I might wind up taking that all apart anyway. I don't know. And we figured out that the Advent yarn is actually an autumnal theme. So I'm kind of curious why I picked that, other than I love autumn and, you know, would love to wear those colors when it gets colder. So I just thought it would be a different thing. I still haven't done an Advent calendar yarn Advent that's actually Christmassy, but we did just put together that big Christmas blanket last year, so I don't know that I need Christmassy colored yarn for anything. And I have some leftover yarn from the Christmas blanket that I think we were going to try and make like a Christmas stripe scarf with, so we'll see. I got enough yarn out the wazoo to make like 10 years worth of projects. So I don't know what we're doing when, but we'll get to it eventually. And that's what we've got going on this week. So let's stop rambling. Go ahead and grab a water, curl up on the couch, and let's make the rest of these bags. Okay, so we're on our fourth bag. We've put some of the pieces together. Put the front and back together, so now we just have to do the card slot and everything else. So you'll see here what I was talking about before, which is that right now this looks centered along this panel, but once we box the bottom, it's not going to be centered. So that's something I need to measure for the next one to make sure we've got it in the right place. And then, like always, we want to box opposite. So if this is going this way, then this one's going to go the opposite way, so that this bottom seam is going in the same direction the whole way across. So counterintuitively, I'm going to make it go that way. It's just really hard to keep straight across these. And then the lining's easier. Here we are at the other beach, Seal Beach, which is a lot closer to our house. It's a Saturday, so lots of people around, but decided to bring the pop-up tent that I use for my craft fairs and set that up. For some reason I remembered it as being blue. I think I was going to order the blue one and then I ordered the white one so that it reflected more light. I can't remember. Anyway, so we got set up here at the beach. We're just going to look at the beach, maybe dip our toes in the water. But just, it's funny because I have Fridays off all summer and I have big plans and I think they're going to last forever, and then we get to the end of the summer, I've got one Friday left and it all went so fast. We haven't even been to the beach one week, so we couldn't do Friday, but we could do today. So we're here today, and hopefully maybe one day next weekend would be good. But ooh, it's cold. So we haven't had like a heart-to-heart lately, but I wanted to throw this in here because I've been getting messages from the universe lately. Several of my YouTubers who are artists have been talking about just following a dream, and that sometimes it feels like it takes longer than it should take, or you're not learning things as fast as you think you should learn them. So I just thought I'd touch on that this week. If you have a dream, usually if it's like a persistent thing, it's the universe trying to tell you something. It's God, if you believe in God, trying to plant that idea in your head. Like, this is something that you're drawn to. This is something that maybe the world needs from you. You know, maybe this is something you can do to help make the world better, or it's just something you can do to feel fulfilled. And that helps everyone around you, because when you're filled up, you can help fill other people's cups, you know? So just want you to think about that. Is there a dream you've had that you've always wanted to do? Maybe it's you want to learn how to watercolor, you want to go into the forest and paint trees, you know, do you want to make little gnome villages? Do you want to learn a musical instrument or another language? Do you have a dream of traveling to Paris and speaking French and living there for a year? What's your dream? It's like Pretty Woman. What's your dream? So think about that, and if you have a dream, just start. Just start on the path. You know, buy the instrument, buy the guidebook. YouTube is wonderful. There's so many tutorials on YouTube. I've learned so many things over the years on YouTube, and it's a good way to get started on things, because it's a very visual medium. But just know that it's not going to be perfect the first time you do it. It takes time. And there was a quote, I can't remember what it was, but it was basically like, the time's going to pass anyway. It's not going to be a waste of time for you to go after that dream and try it, because the time's going to pass anyway. So you're not wasting any time by putting time towards this. And that it can take a while, but as Rumi says, what you seek is seeking you, meaning you wouldn't be called to do this thing if the universe wasn't going to line up all the pieces for you. And they're not going to be all lined up ahead of time. It's not going to be clear ahead of time where this path is going to take you. It might take you in a lot, you might start with this thing, and then it leads to this thing, and then it leads to this thing. And you'd never be able to see that from the starting line, but it all falls in place, and you learn things along the way that get you there. So I just want you to think about that. If there's something you've been putting off, I know a lot of us tried new hobbies in COVID. Maybe there's one thing you've just been scared to do because you don't know how it's all going to work out. But you're not going to know how it's all going to work out. That's the whole point. That's the whole adventure. So I just urge you, if you're feeling called to do something, whether that's crocheting dog blankets for the local dog shelter, whether that's making tote bags for your choir, like whatever it is that's going to bring joy, just do it. Just try it. Just start down that pathway. And it's amazing how the next brick and the next brick will feels like magic, will magically arrive when you need it. So just want to plant that in your head. Just take the first step. That's all you have to do, and the universe will meet you where you're at. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. The time was going to pass anyway. You haven't wasted any time on this project. You've learned something along the way. Okay, it is time to dye the hair. So what we're gonna do is I just looked in the cupboard, and I have like a light pink, but you pretty much already have to be blonde. It's just the pink that you're adding in. And I'm kind of over the pink at this point because it just takes a lot of maintenance. And my roots are coming in, and I'm going back to school tomorrow. School's starting up again for the fall, and even though it's still really hot outside, and I like to keep the pink while it's still hot, it's just one of those things where I have a red box of dye in the closet, and I don't have another blonde. And that kind of makes the decision for me. So we're going to go back to red. The only problem is I don't know what this is going to do, because I still have the pink here. I don't know if that's going to like add a weird tone or something. And it's not like a dark red, it's a light auburn, which actually might wind up being kind of dark because my hair's, I don't know, my hair's probably the middle one right now. So we'll see what this looks like in the end. I don't know. Now it's mousy brown. It doesn't even look red anymore. So I'm kind of back to the drawing board. It looks more red on camera. It doesn't look red at all. It just looks like a dull brown with like a teensiest bit of red. Good news is it covered up the pink. Bad news is I feel very plain Jane. So I'm gonna go see if I can find like the copper red hair dye to put over this, and hopefully that would help. Either that, or I could try just doing like the tips in the purple, because I still have the purple washout dye. So take two. Okay, so here we have it. I put a little bit of the fuchsia pink in, and because it had that nice base of the brown already, it worked out great. So it just looks like magenta hair right now, but it's all over, which is the problem I was having all summer, is that the back was still dark and the top was really light, and it just did not look great. So I'm very happy with this. It will fade. And then, yeah, I don't know what it'll look like in a week when it fades, but we'll see. And I can always buy the other dye by then. But I kind of like it if it takes a little bit of the pink. It'd be great. And if you can hear, I'm all stuffed up. So, of course, first week of school, came down with a cold, which turns out is not a cold. I just tested positive for COVID. So, the worst week for me to be out. I will at least be able to work from home, but you know, a lot of things going on that first week of school, like helping students find classrooms and helping the faculty with all the stuff they need. So I just feel bad that I won't be able to be helpful this week as much as if I was there in person. But it does mean that I have a 3-day weekend, which is now turned into a 6-day weekend. So no excuses. I'm gonna take it easy today because I've got the sore throat and the head congestion and everything. But I should have plenty of time the rest of the week to work on the bags and cut out all the piggy pouches and get all of that stuff rolling. Still can't find those micro beads, so I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I really don't want to purchase another 10-pound box of those things. They got to be around here somewhere. So I'll keep looking. And I think that's it for now. Check in with you later. Well, here's where we're at with the rainbow scarf from my Yarn Crawl Minis. Not exactly what I had in mind. I don't have all the colors of the rainbow to start with. I don't have any orange. The orange color was not the same weight as the rest of the yarns. I don't have the lighter blue, is not the same weight as the rest of the yarns. So I tried to mix and match them so I didn't have these 3 greens next to each other, which I don't think look good next to each other. And then I have these 2 yellows, which are very similar. This one's a little bit darker. You can't really tell right now. And then I've got like 3 purples. So I was trying to split up the colors so that you didn't see that, but it's just not working. It looks silly the way it is. And I'm also not liking the chunky blocks here. So I feel like I just need to tear it back. I've got 10 rows each of these, but I feel like maybe they should be 6. Maybe 6 or 5. I don't really want to do 5 because I want them to end. I want it to be an even number. So I'm thinking 6 rows of each color, but then the question is, do I want each color? Because then I've got these two yellows next to each other and these like 3 greens or like 2 greens, and this is kind of like a blue. I don't know. They're very similar, and you know, 3 purples. So it's like, is that really what I want going on? But this looks more like a rainbow than what I've got going now. It doesn't look like a rainbow even. And then I'm wondering, I mean, this is a nice size scarf, but I'm wondering if it should be skinnier because it's not really going to be a warm scarf. It's going to be more decorative. So I don't know that it needs to be this wide if I'm just wearing it as like a stole kind of thing, you know, just over a shirt and wearing it all day like that. So I don't know if it should be not as wide and just really, really long so that I can wear it anytime. I'm very torn. Part of me, just wants to tear this apart because it's not working and maybe just stick it in a drawer for a while, put it in a timeout. I love this pattern. I love this pattern. I want to use this pattern. And I love the yarns. It's just I feel like I can't really use all of the colors. So that's the question. I also feel like if I could go find a mini, like if I could go to a store and just find an orange mini in like a lighter blue instead of this guy, which is more like a turquoise. I don't know. And I don't like these two next to each other at all, which makes me not want to use, well, this one's a little lighter though. I don't know. I'm very torn. I have other things that I am more excited about working on than this. And while this has been pretty fast to get to this point, it just feels like a waste of time and a waste of my energy at this point. Whereas I could be making something else. So I think I'm going to tear this apart, maybe look for an orange or like another blue. I don't even think I need another blue. I think I'd be fine if I just took these two colors out, maybe took the very dark purple out, because this purple is like, it's more of a wine. Maybe I should just start with that. I don't really like these two colors next to each other. This is part of the problem. So maybe I shouldn't start with that. And it's very dark, so it's hard to work with unless you're in like full blasting light. Ah, the joys of crocheting. To frog or not to frog. It is better to frog than to have not crocheted at all. Well, that's it for this week. I'm on this side of the table so that I can lift things up and show them to you. So I can't remember which ones. I know we finished these two last week. But we have gotten all done, which is so exciting. So here we have these two and the fruits. And more of the Cotton and Steel or Rifle Paper Company. I get them confused all the time. And we've got these two. This one's really cute. I like that one. And then we've got these two. Yay! So I'm going through trying to figure out which one I want. I think this is originally the one that I made with this pattern last time that I sold. So I might want to keep this one just because it reminds me of when I made it the first time. But I also like this one, so I'm not sure which one I want to take for myself. I think it's probably going to be this one that I will take out of rotation for myself. So we'll keep that for me. Other than that, you can still hear I'm kind of stuffy, getting over the COVID. So I've been working from home all week, which has been nice, and really just taking it easy, getting extra sleep, fluids, all that fun stuff. It didn't really hit me that hard. It just felt like a normal head cold. So, yeah, not too bad, but it does mean that I've had lots of time to crochet and watch TV and everything. So with all of these bags done, I get to start working on the piggies. So we've got a 3-day weekend this upcoming weekend. I've been watching all these YouTubers decorate for fall, which seems very cool. It's about 90 degrees here, so it doesn't feel like fall. But we are coming into September, so I'll probably go ahead and switch out like my blankets and decor and stuff and put some fall stuff out and my fall candles. So look for that next week, and we'll be making the piggies next week and the sachets. And then the week after that, we'll be back into making a new bag a week. I just wanted to get some of this craft fair stuff done so that it's not on my brain. We also made our price tags, so I still have to punch a hole and attach them. But they're basically my little square business cards. And then I just print on regular label paper the name of the bag and the price, so I can get all of those attached. I've got over 2 huge Tupperware bins full of bags now, ready to go for the craft fair. So I think once I put my my iron-on labels on these and attach the price tags, we are good to go with those. I don't know if I'm going to take photos and put them in the shop until after the craft fair. So if you would like one of these bags, let me know. They're $22 each, and I can just do a special listing for you on the website if you desperately want one before I do the craft fairs. Other than that, I'll put whatever's left on the website after I do all the craft fairs. Okay, so we've survived the first week of school, even though I wasn't technically in the office for more than 2 days of the first week of school. I wonder how many people got sick, because for the last few years we've done college day outside in a tent. It's been hot and everything, but at least you're outside with the airflow. And this year we did it in the auditorium, and it's like over 500 people coming to this thing. And I'm sure that's where I got it, because I don't get out much other than going to work. And hopefully I didn't give it to anybody else on the first 2 days of school. So it is what it is. I'm just kind of stuck at home, trying to scrounge up some movies. I haven't started Harry Potter over again yet, but I'm sure that will come this weekend. And since I've moved the table around, I can actually watch the TV while I cut stuff, so that's cool. I didn't really like move the table around, I just pushed the table up so that I could be behind it. This isn't really a sustainable situation for the long term, but yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot of cutting, and it would just be nice to be able to physically see the television. Okay, that's enough rambling. That's it for this week. I hope to see you here next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, and I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. Love you, friends. Bye.